Everybody, welcome back to Mystics MMOs. I'm your host, Mr. Craven. It's what I am, it's what I do, and I'm still working on nature. Why? I have no idea. Just trying to get another alt out of the way, pretty much. It's been sitting there for a while, a long while actually, from the time I conceived it, but I was like, oh man, I really gotta do this, man. I gotta get on this shit. So, still have to do a couple of these things. I think I got Oolong out of the way. So, I think I still gotta complete these three. So we'll queue that up. And of course I have this mission down here. We'll do this as well while we're waiting for a queue, if we get a queue. Hopefully. So I'm just trying to get a lot of things out of the way as I'm progressing. And we have an event, so it's pointless to keep going through this already.
So this is what they send me? So you think yourself ready to raise the Demon Lord Trigon, do you? I doubt you can contain even a fraction of his evil. His sin demons swarm in these caverns. Defeat them and absorb their foul power. If you survive, then perhaps you are the one. First, you must overcome the sin of greed. Wield the spirit of avarice by stealing the very essence of their...
It snarls and snaps.
Oh, sheep. I love how it just throws me up in the air. I'm gonna have to redo it all. Now watch. No tank, no troll. I'll be forced to heat. We got a troller. Thank you, fucking God. All I can say is thank you. Thank you. Alright. So, 23, we want to go ahead and grab up some of these. Oh, yeah, I want to open that. I'm at it. Okay, and, oh, yep. And there's that. I'm ready. I'm coming. People already quit. Quitters. All right.
We don't have to do this the hard way. I'll show you the power of a king.
Jeez, fucking A. What the fuck? Can I get a take? You know, healers do get aggro. Jeez. This is why people always want tanks, man. Jeez. What did I sign up for? I'm trying. That's why you want tanks. Take. Jeez. Yo, Jack, what's up? How you doing, man? It's crappy. It's a crap fest. Doing the event, we have no tank. I'm forced to heal shit. People are like, you don't need a tank. Sure, sure, sure. Jeez. Look at this. Look at all this aggro on me. I'm just forced to block. Throw hots and block. Just wanted to say the phone interview I had yesterday was unusual. I was told that the interview would be scheduled at 4 p.m., but no one called me. Oh, whoa. Well, that is awkward. Somebody overpulled. God. God, everybody here sucks. When I called the company, the person who was supposed to do it was still at the office. I think she was testing candidates to see if they call back or not. Could be. Look at this. Jeez, fucking A. Look at this. I'm forced to do like mock taking or something.
is finally in position to seize the throne. All is going according to our plan. Arthur will be denounced as king.
Jeez, because this would justify how much they want the internship, possibly.
I will be there to end his life.
I mean, being proactive is a good thing. Just, you know, at least make one call, then let them try to get back a hold of you. You know?
In a shallow grave under the seafloor. This will be my final entry. Not even Coram Rath's duplicity will keep Arthur Curry safe from my vengeance. Fate has screamed out its verdict, and in mere moments,
Feel like someone stepped on your
will be
grave.
no more.
Can you believe I was actually concerned
My
that the
life's
news of your death
purpose,
might be
my
true? That
glorious
King
vindication
Conrad may
all
have
culminate,
succeeded where
and
I
fate
could
will
not.
dine
That
well
Poseidon,
on my
Triton, or the
retribution.
boogeyman himself may have dared to deny me your dying moment. But you see, Arthur, you cannot escape your destiny. And yours is to die here.
In this filthy dungeon.
This filthy dungeon below the very throne you once ruled from.
Ah, how poetic that would be if this was a prison and not a feeding chamber. Time to end this. Monster lurks below the surface. Be alert.
How are you doing? You doing anything for Christmas? We're having Christmas at my brother's this year. So, we did Thanksgiving, so we usually rotate the holidays. And what about you? You going anywhere for Christmas?
Does my piece
You on break for school?
no more games? How about a taste of my trident? Your mind cannot overcome my dark. Acolytes, destroy these. Even your aquatic beasts smell soon.
Yep, I'm going on my break, just so enjoying all my free time and trying to find work. Nothing special. Oh, brother, that doesn't sound so good, man. You should at least try to get with some family. Just for the day. Or get with some friends or something, you know?
You are no longer the master.
You know, my grandmother, when we were younger, my grandmother always told us, you know, the best thing about the holidays is trying to give. So all the leftovers we would have for the holidays, my grandmother would pack up plates and take it to the homeless shelter, you know, or give it to the homeless. And those was our leftovers, you know, all that leftover stuff. So it was really cool, you know, growing up in a house where, you know, we were taught, you know, you always give what you can, every little bit. And then that's, you know, that's the meaning of not just the holidays, but being a, you know, a decent human being. Yeah, but I have a small family. My grandma refuses to see us at all, even though we, for Christmas dinner multiple times. My family isn't really a family. We rarely come together. Yeah, there's a lot of family members I don't associate with. So I kind of understand your point. But, you know, I try to get with like one or two family members that I can gut. My brother and my direct family is about it. You know, there's certain family members I do get along with, don't get me wrong. But most of my family, we're not really as close as big as a family we are, we're not close. Some of my family just kind of snubs each other. You know, and it's kind of sad the way it is. Sometimes blood is water's thicker than blood. Oh, sweet. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, I have a huge family and it's still not close. I can tell you that.
Anointed me as its avatar. No longer will it lack
You would think if you have a large family, it would mean something. No, it doesn't.
Hold on! He's raising Atlantis to the surface!
I wish it would sometimes. I honestly wish more people would value, their friends and loved ones and, have honor amongst each other. But unfortunately, people just don't.
I'm afraid this is not a legend, my love. The dead king's scepter and the rest of his artifacts were buried.
The magical power that Wrath wields is an abomination that no Hadalin of the Ninth Tribe should be permitted. I was foolish to trust the Silent School and the Elders. None of them have the vision the dark magic grants me. Their short-sighted ignorance insults me. They are unworthy of me, so I have bestowed a merciful death upon them. All that remains to be done is to use the combined powers of the Zodiac Stones and the Abyssal Dark to eradicate my enemies, starting with the Aquaman. I call upon the archer, Sagittarius, come forth and empower my strike.
Yo, Roz, what's up, my brother? How you doing? What about you, Raj? You got plans for Christmas? Be interesting to see how the healing pans out. You're doing good? That's good.
No, not more water. Arthur, from the water pools.
Jeez, my Jesus. I didn't know it was a tank. Jeez, my Jesus. You got lots of plans? That's good. Yeah, Jack, I hope things work out for your family, man. I can honestly tell you, I feel your pain on some things, man. I really do. The healers are getting all the aggro. I'm going with defensive stance more if that deflects the projectiles back. Got you. It's not a bad idea. Look at this motherfucker. Makes me sick. Trying to get him killed.
Practically invulnerable to our attack. We must bring down his shield.
Use the fire sign crystals to negate Taurus's power over the dead.
This motherfucker. This motherfucker. I hate these scumbags. I hate these scumbags, yes. Run over this fucker.
Defeating them may hold the key to disabling the next artifact.
Bone shield morph though. Yeah, spiked bone shield is what I use. I'm trying to get this dude killed. I'm trying to provoke the sea monster to come over here. Yes. God dang it, they're fucking healing him. I don't want him to get healed. He's a fucking bitch. Fucking bitch.
Now absorb the magic of the water cave and use it to disable the fire sign of Sagittarius. Quickly, invoke the fire point and use it to scorch the earth.
Red arrow is a bug. Gotta go? Alright, brother. You take care. Have a good one, brother. I hope that works out for you. Sounds like it's going to.
Barnacle creatures back to the depths. Act now. Time is of the essence.
Oh, Shield of Life. Actually, I want to take that.
And beyond.
That's kind of cool.
Invoke thee. Give me the power I crave. Beside you, give me strength.
And so ends the reign of the Mad King Forum Wrath. Let us pray that the dark magic he unleashed has been driven from this world for good. For now, I must focus on uniting the people of Atlantis and repairing the damage Forum Wrath has done.
All right. Let's see what we got. And what's our heals at? It's a little weak. Oh my god, that sucked. Oh. No. Should be able to come down here.
Do you need anything?
Yeah, I need to repair. Okay. Gonna go back to the base really quick because I need to save this. All right. At least we got some stuff out of the way. All right. Now all we have to do is just put our colors in here. Alright, now that's taken care of, I think. Yeah, we're going to go to the gardens really quick. Let's go.
Grundy not want to do what Ivy says.
We're going to look up.
Does it anyway. Grundy guess love like that.
Alright, I'm going to take my scaled stuff and I'm going to put it over down here because I know that's going to scale. Damn it, shouldn't have got that. Damn it, damn it, damn it.
Ivy says keep plants safe.
Gonna save all of this stuff. Well, at least anything that'll scale. It's kind of important. No, honey.
Ivy says smash
Ivy says.
humans.
All right. Making sure I have a lot of crap. I think we're good.
Plants good. People bad.
People are bad, Grundy. Very bad. So I have a couple of things, a couple of items that'll scale once we hit max level, which isn't too bad. And we're 23. I'm going to go ahead and pop my XP boost.
Grundy not want to do what Ivy says, but Grundy does it anyway. Grundy guess love like that.
Forensic toxicology report. This rose contains a powerful neurotoxin that suppresses free will.
Ugh.
Prepare yourself to swat Brainiac's pawns the hive away from the moon. They're mining exobytes embedded in the surface, and that idiot magnet will soon crack the moon in two. Shut it all down!
Since you're feeling all generous, since you're feeling all generous, cover me. Since you're feeling all generous, cover me. Since you're feeling all generous, cover me. Since you're feeling all generous, cover me while I make a break for the base. Since you're feeling all generous, cover me while I make. Since you're feeling all generous, cover me while I make a break for the base.
Oh, I think I bit off more than I could chew, boys. Where? Yeah, I'm like smoking the DPS. Come on, man. It's... Wow. I hate when people don't stay together.
explosives the Hive uses to strip the nearby rock should be strong enough.
Not worried about that or any of those right now. I'll get those at some other time. I'm on a XP gain. Blam! At these.
Snap in two, let's get those exobytes back to the Society. I need you to upload the coordinates of any hive ships to the Society frequency so I can boom tube them out.
Starting teleportation calculations. ETA 45 seconds to completion.
God dang it.
Calculation completed. Teleporting. Complete. Starting teleportation calculations. ETA 45 seconds to completion.
Oh shit. I'm dead. I knew I wasn't getting out of that. One bad thing about speed, if you fall, you're screwed.
Calculation completed. Teleporting. Starting teleportation calculations. ETA 45 seconds to completion. Calculation completed. Teleporting.
Alright.
You've got the Queen Bee running scared. She's launched her mothership to take its payload to Brainiac, destroy the Hive's communication nexus, and override the mothership's control panels manually.
Yo, what's up, Walt? Where am I getting all this aggro? Where in the heck am I getting all this aggro at, man? Oh, that's where. I was like, what the fuck, man? One of the other terminals are broke. I'm like, there is no way, man. I was confused. I was completely lost. No way. I was pulling back. I'm doing good. Just been doing over some technical on minimizing spam, though utilizing multiple email accounts. Yeah, sounds silly, but it works. Yeah, well, I mean, it sounds like you're just kind of like filtering, using a filtering program, right? Is that what you're doing, Walt? Sounds like you're using a filtering software, or you know, using different aspects to filter the spam going over certain applications, right? And what it should, hopefully, it would work. I'm hoping, yeah. And things like that definitely help. I might be wrong, but it sounds like it. I mean. Are you doing? Is that what you're doing? Like using a configuring a a filter program? We're maintaining. Not using a spam filter. Not using a spam filter, rather having different email accounts for different purpose, work related. Oh, got you. By having such a setup actually creates a sense of redundancy of sorts. Absolutely, yeah, definitely. My friend actually used kind of a different filtering setup. I don't think it worked in the email. Like, I think you could use different things. Like, you know how they have the spam folder? He created his own email account. And then put together something like, putting together his own type filtering system. Too much for me. I agree with you. The easiest way to do is have different type of emails, just less complicated. Simplify it. If you could simplify things, it makes it a lot easier. I completely agree with that. Alright. We're going to go in here. We're going to complete this. I wish, like, spam... Have you ever noticed, like, when you go in your email and something's not spam, it gets thrown in the spam, and then when you're checking standard mail, somehow spam still gets through? So how does it check? What's the algorithm to check that? To be honest, Google, Microsoft, Yahoo just love giving away your personal data either for money or just make intelligent people happy. I love it. I love it. Yes, I love that, man. Yeah, it's pretty accurate, I imagine. That definitely has some accuracy to it. Like people selling contact stuff. Yeah, it happens. It's real. You know it, Waltz. You know it is. Now, I don't want to. I always don't pronounce your first part, but it's Mephisto, right? Is that how you pronounce that, Mephisto? I always wanted to say it, but oh yes, I have that scenario. Yeah. So that shit's real.
So this is what they send me?
Yes.
So you think yourself ready to raise the demon Lord Trigon, do you?
I am.
I doubt you can contain even a fraction of his evil.
Probably not.
His sin demons swarm in these caverns, defeat them and absorb their foul power.
Absolutely.
If you survive, then perhaps you are the one.
Maybe. I hope.
First, you must overcome the sin of greed. Wield the spirit of avarice by stealing the very essence of their selfish souls.
And you're getting jumped around a lot. Sucks. Not at all love not at all love to sell off your data. Yeah, you mean the companies?
Dragon's true power awaits you.
It's Festo. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Because usually like a P and an H is like a f sound. So it's like Mephisto? I'm from Ohio, so we say Washington even though some people say Washington. Take it. I'll take it.
To serve Trigon, you must
Apple takes your security bugs, security big time, but I don't have an Apple iPhone.
your insatiable
I used to have an iPhone, I don't anymore. I have Android. God, such hostility, these demons. Didn't I already survive this and eat all these dudes? Yet another test.
You have not felt hate until you have faced
Festo. Got you.
Show us the dark
Fisto.
rage inside
Like
your
Festo. Hey, don't worry how my username is said. I'm not complaining. That's why I always call you Waltz. It's just easier for me to do it. But, you know, I like to learn. I like to learn things, man. You know? I'm one of those type of people. You know, I like what Da Vinci said. Da Vinci said, you're never too old to stop learning. Love that. Never too old to learn. Da Vinci. I believe it was Da Vinci. I want to say it was Da Vinci. I cannot contain it. I've been told by the demons.
The sins since arrival. They are in a frenzy to stand against you.
Of course they are.
You must face them.
A raging inferno of hell, representing starfire. He will crush you. Wrap the world in utter destruction. Relinquish my essence.
No, I'm eating it. You can't have it back if I consume it. Maybe I'll shit it out. Maybe I'll shit his essence out. See how awesome I am? I can stand in this lava. I have learned many things even at my age. Yep, that's what I believe, man. I believe you're never too old, you know, to learn something. Just makes it more of a pain in the ass to do so. You know, I was talking to my daughter today, and I'm a little bit. I don't have very much patience for ignorance, so I'm always appreciative of what people have to offer, right? Especially intelligent people. But I don't deal with sarcasm too good, and I don't deal with ignorance as very well. My daughter's like, "Dad, your patience really sucks," and I'm like, "Yeah, it does. It does. It does." And my daughter's a big smart ass. And I'm telling her, I'm like, you know, honey, if I could take away one thing of mine at my age, and I was referring to my age, it would be to be a little bit more, I don't know, try to play, you know, like, I'm like, you ever hear the saying, ignorance is bliss? And she's like, but Dad, you say you hate ignorance. And I'm like, this is true. This is true. And you're like, and you're always supposed to admit when you're wrong. I'm like, absolutely. And I'm like, but, you know, sometimes if you pretend you're ignorant, then maybe people would be maybe a little bit more forgiving. And I'm like, because it seems like the more of an asshole you are, people are not forgiving of that. Like, they're forgiving if you're a little, you know, whatever. But anytime you're like, you know, you can pick up on sarcasm, pick up on anything, people really resent you for that. And I'm like, and I really wish I wasn't so quick to just open my mouth. And I'm trying to teach her this because she does the same thing that I do. She opens her mouth when sometimes maybe she just needs to pretend like she doesn't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, just pretend you're just, like, oblivious. And maybe you'll be, you know, a lot more, maybe patience will develop. I don't know. But I'm thinking to myself, geez, man, people hate me. Like, I'm really hated a lot.
The power you seek comes with a heavy price. I will not be bound.
Not everybody hates me. I guess I'm an acquired taste. I'm not good with sarcasm since it's difficult as I am autistic. Oh, but you know what? I think you're very intelligent, though. And I like your name, though, Waltz. I think your name's kick-ass. Fisto? Pretty badass. Festo? I really do like that name. But there's different forms of autism. I met people that are somewhat autistic and are very, very intelligent. Like my one friend's brother has a problem just communicating, but he's really good at math, and he's really exceptional at math. And I'm impressed because, you know, like, people categorize autism in one category, but I feel like you can't do that. There's different ways that autism affects each person. So, you just have to be aware that, you know, just pay respect to the person as you would with anybody else. You know, like me, I'm completely mechanically inclined. Not mechanically inclined. I mean, mechanically dumb. You know, I can't work on automobiles at all. Like, I understand the functions behind all the parts in an automobile, but I just go completely like, I don't know, blank. Where a lot of my friends are very mechanically inclined, and I guess I'm fortunate enough to know some pretty good mechanics. So, I mean, I can do little things, but I'm not very good at it. And I feel in that essence, we all have our strengths and weaknesses, you know? We all have strengths and weaknesses, and, you know, I feel, you know, like I'm not good at certain things. I'm just not. Like building a rocket. I wouldn't know how to build a rocket. I wouldn't know where to begin. Some be like, you're going to build this rocket. Okay, I guess. Don't expect it to work. That's my only disclosure. Don't expect it to work.
I knew you would prove worthy. Now, find the obelisk the Cult of Blood has erected to Greed to bestow yourself the full power of avarice. The Sentinels guard it closely, but I am sure you will be. Oh, and do collect the pretty gems of greed the obelisk manifests. Shiny things are so desirable.
But you know what? And I don't know. Like, I'm not very, you know, educated on certain things. Thanks. As festo is the Greek word for... Oh, dude! Awesome! Yes! 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 Manifesto! Oh my god! Yes! Dude! Okay! That is awesome! Dude, I love it! Yes! Dude, you know what? It didn't even sink until you mentioned it. And then when you did, I'm like, yes! Dude, absolutely. Oh my god, that is so kick-ass, man. That is kick-ass. Your manifesto. So, manifesto. Okay, I got you. The devil, Mephisto, and then, you know, you ever hear that thing, manifesto, and then Mephisto, right. So I'm catching you on it. I think I am. Because a lot of it, the derivative of the first part of the word or the last part of the word have similar, like Hippocrates, like Hippocratic Oath. I'm no auto mechanic, but if I had unlimited resources, I could assemble you a great custom design PC. Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm a big nerd like that as well. I do all my my PC work as well. I love, like, we used to do like some really cool things. We did LED lights in a you know, a fiberglass case. Like a clear case, like a full solid clear case at one time for my one friend. It was so badass. It was kind of jelly, to be honest with you. It's kind of like, oh my god, it's so badass. I want to take it home with me. Dude, you rule, you know? But yeah, certain things are so expensive. Computer stuff is not cheap. It's not. Though I will say computers equipment's lasting longer these days. Like, you know, as far as spec. Yeah, I remember like every 6 months your processor would be outdated. Maybe now it's like once a year. So... I mean, I still remember when we used to have the little DOS boot up system, and we used to be able to, like, WIN 3 point, you know what I'm saying? What is...
Man, I'm not sticking around for dessert.
I'm trying to absorb these. Oh my gosh. There is a Marvel comic book called Mephisto, who always was trying to steal various Marvel heroes' souls like the Avengers. To give you an idea. Oh, okay. I'm not actually familiar with that one. Might have to take a look at it. I'm definitely, you know, like to research different things at times. But I do like the name. It's pretty kick-ass. I remember DOS, yeah. Oh my. I remember in 6th grade when we were learning like C+, and we used to have to, you know, program in DOS prompt. You know? Oh my gosh. It's so crazy. I don't think anybody even uses it anymore, I would say.
Ha! I'm a protector of Gotham.
Good. I'm about to eat you. Oh my.
Your evil doing is over.
In DC, I'm not sure who Mephisto's counterpart would be. I'd have to take a look. It does seem like there are a lot of really good counterparts. Not always, but majority of the time. I think that's the last one for this one.
Why don't you pick on somebody?
I'm a superhero.
I don't think so. Your villainy stops here.
That hurts, you know.
Oh, hold on. I'm hungry. How gross. I eat souls. I need to go on a diet. All these calories. God dang. Oh, it's gonna be close. No. Damn it. I knew it. I was like, I'm not gonna make it if I don't get this, dude. Alright, alright. Someone say it. I'm a superhero. Yes, you are.
I'm sure you'll find this next tab.
All right. Here we go. We're starting to move it now. Here's an example. Green Arrow and Hawkeye. Right. No, I knew what you meant. That's why I said most of them do have counterparts, but not always. So there are, majority of the times, a DCUO counterpart, but I'd have to, would have to research a little bit of it. Not, like I said, not always, but...
Their sunstones will maintain balance between darkness and light. What is that label? What? Use
Oh my.
sunstones on them. That'll show them whether.
Mephisto is kind of like the devil in Marvel. He was one of the guys that helped Thanos get the Infinity Stones. Yeah, and here's the thing. Isn't he, I'm trying to think. Who is what's-his-name's dad? Isn't that, what's-his-name's dad? Friggin', what's his name? Who teleports? Shit, it's right off the top of my head. Nightcrawler. Isn't that Nightcrawler's dad? If I'm thinking right? Or am I thinking of another one? Forget Nightcrawler's dad, but I wanted to say, like, you know what I'm saying? I'd have to take a look. After this quest, I'm going to have to take a look at it. Because Nightcrawler, his dad, and, like, in the original comic books, Nightcrawler has a dad, and his mother is, of course, what's her name? It's where he gets his blue skin. Anybody remember Nightcrawler's father? Mephisto's his dad to Blackheart. Okay. Man, you're on it, Scott. You know him. See, I thought I was a Marvel fan, but man, I am completely lost on this one. That's how big the Marvel Universe is. Well, that's another thing. Like, Angel, I'm not very, very strong with Angel's backstory. There's a couple of things I missed on all that. Like, I know some of the things, but not a lot. Mystique, right. Mystique is, yeah, that's right. Nightcrawler, that's who's Nightcrawler's, mother. And then his dad is the demon who does the teleporting. So where he picked up, you know, both that. Azel! Yeah, Azel. Yeah, that's it. Oh, it's kind of funny that they put him in the movie, the one movie, but I'm like, but Mystique's too young to be Nightcrawler's mother, it seems like, the way they redid everything. I mean, I could be wrong, but... I would love to see an X-Men show. Yeah, is his dad. Yeah, as soon as you said it, I knew. Yeah. That's who it is. Thanks, as I just looked that up, Scott. See, and I get confused, man. Marvel Universe is just so big. Like, I'm like lost at times. Like, there was part of the Phoenix that I was paying attention to when I was younger, and then all of a sudden, you know, they had the Phoenix Force, and, you know, I mean, yeah, it was true that, you know, Jean Grey had, you know, this demonic aspect to, you know, the Phoenix, but honestly, there's a good side to that Force, and then I got completely fucking lost. And I was like, okay, I've just completely got lost in this whole Phoenix thing now. So, which was crazy. Yeah, he was definitely, yeah, probably older than older than I was. No, I need a friggin' the thingamajig. I'm trying to find the obelisk. I'm trying to find it again. Hi, what's up, SWAT? Demonic Warlord? I don't know, was he? Like, I'm completely lost on... See, that's what I'm saying. It's just like some things are just... You know, I'm lost on it. I'm completely lost.
Do you feel the power? That and more will be ours when
That and more.
Find the last obelisk to channel wrath and unleash it on this so-called place of eternal peace.
I gotta get rid of this. I got too much stuff. I've got stuff. Got a lot of stuff.
Once you corrupt the Titans, their foul energy will fill Raven's soul. Trigon will rise and his powers will be mine.
Will be yours. It'll be ours. 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 She's trying to cheat me out of my stuff. She's hot, though. Cersei's hot. Remember, Cersei is hot. Who's the hottest villainess? And either, no, any comics. Who's the hottest villainess? I want to know. Now. Who's the hottest? That's what I read. Huh. There we go. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Level 26. Look at that.
Your moment is at hand. Prepare to unleash the powers of Trigon's sins upon the Titans.
I will! I will. I'll unleash their sins.
Rise. I shall summon a portal to bring you to me. Do not delay.
I won't. Stop it. Demanding. He's so demanding. Yeah, bow down to me. Yeah, bow down to me, you demons.
Ah, yes. Feel the power coursing through you, channeling into our deserving hosts. Turn their pure spirits to evil for Trigon.
I want Brother Blood Skull thing. He was a race of demonic mutants that were banished to another dimension. Ah, the plot thickens. So they're half demons and half mutants, right? Okay, we want to take Cyborg. He's pretty tough. For Trigon! Yes, for Trigon! And we'll take Donna Troy. She can be a pain in the ass with that whip. Say it. Say it. For Trigon. Yes, for Trigon. My mistake, Scott. You're way more accurate than I am. Yeah, you guys are educating me. I'm completely, like, lost here, so I'm not afraid to admit it. See? I only know X amount of information. I'm not afraid to admit I'm wrong. I'm wrong. But, you know, that's what I like about things. And you know, I like... You know, we used to, like, me and my friends would sit down and talk about all these really cool things that we would pick up on. Have you ever, like, read something and then you have a nice discussion? I mean, I know it sounds nerdy. Kind of like, you know, Readers Club and stuff. Except for nerds. Except for, like, comic books and stuff. My favorite author growing up was Jules Verne. I remember when I was a kid, you know, you read these books, and then Disney had the movies, and you were like, man, this dude was on a whole different level. Going back to biblical times, but it depends on who's writing it. That's the crazy thing about Marvel. They mess around with the origin too much. Yeah, they do. Well, DC has done some... retcons too. Yeah, they have. They've done, you know, they revised a lot of things.
Yes. Now
Totally. I agree. Both are kind of guilty of that, changing the canon and alter some things in stories. And I think that kind of gives you know, the value to some issues more than others. Because then, like, how many different series of Batmans were there? That one time there were, like, what, like 3 or 4 different issues of Batman cycling at one time? Like, when Dark Knight series and stuff was going on.
The Titans are free.
Like, there was a lot of stuff.
That's the demon Trigon.
That's the demon Trigon.
What did you just do?
I don't know what I just did. I'm sorry. Regifted sweater. Gross. I love Journey to the Center of the Earth. Absolutely. Yes, Jules Verne. I'm telling you, man, that dude was on a trip, wasn't he? Jeez, Jesus, man. I'm telling you. I wanted to name my son, so I don't have any boys in the house. We have all girls. And I told my wife when she was pregnant, I'm like, if we have a boy, we're naming him Jules. She's like the girl Jewel? And I'm like, not Jewel, Jules. We're going to call him Jewel. Like Jewel, Jules Verne, Jewel. Like short for Jewel, Julius. You know, Jules Verne. So that's what I wanted to name my son if I had a son. But I had all girls. And she's like, thank God we had all girls. I'm like, that's mean. It's so mean.
Hail Lord Trigon and the goddess Circe.
And the goddess Circe? She's so hot. Who's the hottest villainess?
I assure you.
I'm saying Circe is the hottest villainess ever. She's smoking. She you know. You want to be bad when you're near Circe. I got to sell a bunch of stuff. At first, Chris Claremont wanted Mystic to take the form of a man and impregnate Destiny, who was a female mutant. Oh, so that's how all that went down? Really? Really? That's interesting. See, man, I love finding out this shit. That is really cool. Oh, was this like first edition type shit? Or was this revised?
Trigon has risen. You have opened the door to his might. Take your reward, for the world belongs to his evil.
Cool. Alright. So I'm going to have to sell some stuff. I am? I just got lost! I am what? You're sure it is? I'm completely lost now.
I'm busy. But not so busy that I can't sell you some gear.
Man, I got a lot of stuff to filter through. Sorry, Nightcrawler's parents, I mean. Oh, yeah. I knew that's what you meant. But I was like, is this first edition? Do you know? And you know if anybody knows if this is first edition or revised? Too controversial for the times? Oh, yeah, brother. Absolutely. You know, you could always tell when they were kind of like, you know, editing it or, you know, cutting it down a little bit, right? But they would give you a really good indication, though. I feel like that's in our generation, even though they didn't come out and directly say things in you know, certain applications, you were kind of aware. No, that's actually cool. I'm actually glad. Finger slip. No, it's all good. Alright.
So, the necromancer Felix Faust. He's sucking souls from students down at the university.
Sucking souls.
Business as usual. Except he doesn't have Cersei's permission.
Uh-oh.
Dr. Savannah has the background intel. Speak to him at the night club near campus.
I have a lab on the Gotham University campus where I can keep an eye on the power of Shazam. So when Faust and Black Adam arrived, I knew something was up. Cersei is rewarding me for my help. I can only imagine what she'll give you if you take Faust down.
You hear this? She's gonna give me something.
Welcome, champion. Ready to deal some punishment?
Yes.
The necromancer, Felix Faust, is defying my will, hoping to attain.
See how hot she is? She's hot.
Teach him a painful lesson and steal the souls he's collected. No one defies the goddess Circe.
It never happened. It was changed by writer Scott Lobdell in X-Men Unlimited. Oh, 2003. Got you.
Black Adam too much for you? You wouldn't stand a chance against Captain Marvel, that big red cheese.
Alright. So I'm going to go to the house. I'm going to break down some stuff really quick and save some stuff. The one character I wish they would have in an X-Men movie would be the Shadow King. That'd be interesting. There's a lot of really cool... I'm still waiting on Gambit. I'm a Gambit fan. I'm still waiting on that. I don't know if I'll see it in this lifetime. I absolutely do not know. I'm actually like somewhat like crying about it deep down inside. I'm like, where's my Gambit? They said I was gonna get it. They was liars. All right. Sweet. Alright. So we're going to save this into our build configuration, even though it's not going to stay. And then we're going to switch out to our other build. Just to make sure we got pants and stuff on. Alright, looks good. There would be a lot of really cool things, man. Like, I feel like Marvel's been doing so good in their in how they address the canon. Because even when they switch the canon around, which they do often, I feel like they still do a good job of keeping at least the characters to some familiar aspect to what we're accustomed to. What we can anticipate from the characters' moral, their history. Would you like some playing cards instead? He might be too powerful for the MCU, telepathy and immortal. Yeah, but that would be a really good, like, you know, I don't know, like, protect. Well, you know, I mean, Apocalypse, dude. They did Apocalypse, and Apocalypse, you know, supposedly never dies. I mean, I actually felt like in the movie they kind of cheesed him down a little bit. Because I was like, really? 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 I completely felt like, you know, he got completely cheeseballed. That's my opinion. All right. I felt like Apocalypse got cheeseballed. Totally, and more totally. Like when I was watching that, Age of Apocalypse, I was like, I'm somewhat very disappointed. I mean, I felt like they did okay. It was good. But I was completely disappointed. Not gonna lie. I was like, they made him so, like, cheesy. Why? Speaking of the Shadow King, by inhabiting a host body, he could push a person's power to their ultimate limit. Right. I feel like there could be some really good implications with that. Yeah, they made him much weaker, but Dark Phoenix is no joke powerful. I know! Like, seriously? Like, I mean, come on, man. And did you notice that, you know, the whole Scott Summers, they left the whole end of Scott Summers' disappearance completely fucking vague as fuck? Excuse my French. I'm like, what is this? Where did they pull this rabbit out of the hat? And then they just left us hanging and now they're rebooting everything. Like, what happened? What happened to Scott, man? What happened? All right. Check it out. Check it out. We're working it. It's a thing. I'm going to work up on this healer. Leveling. Leveling in this game is not hard. It's not. Sometimes it's a little tedious. I'll give them that. I'll give everybody that. I want more superhero games, but in a way, I'm glad there isn't enough superhero games. Oh, shit. I went to the wrong city. 1 second. Well, Apocalypse in the comics was near indestructible. I know! That's my point. Like, there was a whole story to that whole thing with Cable and, you know, Bishop and, you know, all of this. And all of a sudden, it's like none of it is, like, even important. None of it. Like, you know, fuck all that. And I'm like, what the hell happened, man? I keep asking myself, like, what happened? What happened to the, you know... I mean, I understand you have to make alterations to the story. I get that. You can't squeeze months of issues into 2 hours. I understand this. I really, really do. I get it. And I get you're kind of, you know, making some alterations for the purpose of, you know, movie adaptation. I get it. I get it. But holy shit balls, man. We're completely lost at times. Like Mr. Sinister. Wouldn't it have been nice to see Mr. Sinister? You know? Because Mr. Sinister was behind a lot of shit too. Right? I was hoping for, you know, at least some drop or hints of Mr. Sinister. I was like, oh my God. Oh my God, could this be it? Could this be it? And you're thinking to yourself, is this where Mr. Sinister is fucking with all of these mutant experiments and, you know, working with all this shit? I would have been like, oh my God. Well, if you make Apocalypse in the movie, it would make it not interesting. This is true. This is true. But that's what I'm saying. I get it. But, I mean, I was just hoping for, like, you know, an appearance by a couple of people, you know? Like, what about, like, you know, Bishop and all that? I know he can't be dead. They have to make Cable and then strike back. Yes! That's what I'm saying, man. And with this whole Phoenix stuff now, it seemed like they slightly altered. I mean, what's going to happen with Cable? I mean, seriously. What's the whole dilly now? Is that changing? Is that whole canon changing? I mean, what? Strife, there's someone who's next level of power. Right. I mean, seriously, I'm confused. I'm all lost, man. I'm completely, like, befuddled why they did the things they did. None of it makes flippin' sense to me.
The Soul Globe's power must be delivered to Kondak.
Dissertation note.
I hate this part of leveling.
God of the North seeks out the dead where they dwell
Rise
in
and protect the soul well for Faust. The Soul Globe's power must be delivered to Kondak.
I'm completely curious as to how they are going to break all of this down. I don't like the new canon. I'm not going to lie. I hate the new canon. I feel they do a good job still, but I'm not a big fan of it. But hey, I mean, is it horrible? No. It's well directed. But I love it when people are like, Marvel does so much better than DC. I'm like, have you seen the new X-Men? Cable was actually the son. Right. Right. Yes. Right. So I'm wondering how in the fuck is shit going on now? Because Cable's whole existence was what? The war against Apocalypse. Now Apocalypse is dead? I mean, what? I mean, what? I mean, you see what I'm saying? Like, what? You know? That was the... And we didn't see an appearance by Cable. I didn't see it. Now, I believe what Cable did come in the DC universe, though, with Deadpool, right? I still have yet to see that. My daughter's getting on my nerves about it, saying, Dad, you haven't seen it? I'm like, no. They keep putting it off. But I believe Cable's in part of that now. Is it Cable? So, I mean, is that relative to the canon? But, like, what I'm saying is, like, he has this whole war against Apocalypse. You know? And now Apocalypse is what? Dead? I can't remember the movie which featured an end credit scene featuring a metallic briefcase with the name Essex, which Mr. Sinner... Right! And that's what I'm saying. I've seen the same one. I forget which one. And I'm surprised we didn't see something with Mr. Sinister yet. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's so many empty whatever. And then we have the whole, you know, Avengers shit going on. And now we have, you know, Captain Marvel. And I'm like, whoa, 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 what happened to the X-Men universe? You know what I'm saying? Whoa, whoa, I'm completely now lost. Yeah, it's Deadpool. Yeah, my daughter's been getting on my nerves about it. Because I was going off about... She's like, you need to watch Deadpool 2. Stop complaining about it. I'm like, I know. I haven't had time. That's your fault. She's a big Deadpool fan. Actually, the writer... One of the writers of Deadpool... There's a couple writers. But one of the writers actually follow me on my Twitter. Maybe I should just ask him. Yeah, my daughter about cheesed herself because she's like, is that writer that writes Deadpool? I'm like, it is that writer that writes Deadpool. Oh my God. She's like, he follows you. I'm like, it's one of the writers, yeah. Are you shocked? Are you surprised?
No one defies the goddess Circe. The plot thickens. Faust plans to bring Black Adam's wife.
Okay, what am I supposed to be doing? Oh yeah, I gotta drop. See, I told you the devs listened to me on Twitter. For the Anti-Monitor event, we are getting the future Joker style from the DCUO 2011 trailer. I asked for that 2 years ago. Nice! See? Good shit. See, Jeffrey? They pay attention.
Dissertation notes. The consent of Anubis is required for any travel from beyond the afterlife.
Oh, so Faust.
See, I told you I had good ideas, Jeffrey. I'm a believer.
His magic prevents all but his soul.
I'm a believer. I know, I shouldn't sing. Then I saw her face. I keep thinking of Shrek and Donkey when I hear that song.
It has what we need to begin.
Sweet. And the Anti-Monitor event's coming in January, isn't it? See. I'm going to love that. I haven't got to play it, but I was watching a trailer on it, and I was like, why wasn't I playing during that time? Stupid seasonal events.
presents with the Joker gas in them.
The problem with this game, they have so many seasonal events, you're gonna miss it. They're like, you're not gonna go anywhere, because if you do, you're gonna miss out on this seasonal event. And you'll have to wait an entire year. Bastards. Oh my. I just learned Bloom. I'm waiting for Scott Drake's and Jeffrey Lane collaboration movie. Sarcasm. 100th episode of The Flash is airing in an hour. Savitar, Reverse Flash, and Zoom will be in the episode. Damn it. Damn it. I'm going to have to call my daughter to record it. And no, Scott Summers, there's no hope. Summers, the first mutant, was born after the House of M. I'm telling you. It was always kind of interesting. I hated, you know, the whole thing with Love Triangle with Jean Grey, you know, Logan and Scott. I hated that. I hated all those little, you know, things. I'm like, yo, man, why can't Logan just get his own girl? Even though his name's not really Logan, we know it's not. Just everybody calls him Logan, and he accepts it. You know, whatever. His actual name's James, isn't it? I want to say Logan's real name's James. Scott. I do love this game. I love the combat in this game. They need to reduce my friggin' Switch play, though. Oh, yeah. James. It is James? Okay. Mystic, I need a Twitter favor. Since we are getting a future Joker style, I'm going to push for the future Flash style and Superman and Wonder Woman. I need a simple comment and retweet. I will have to see if I can get on, though. I mean, yeah, just tweet it to me if you have my Twitter, and I'll see if I can retweet it for you. For sure, for sure. Also, make sure, I don't know if you can link Twitters on forums. You might want to try that too, Jeffrey. Future Flash would be badass. The blue. That blue for the Future Flash would be badass. I would say that. Wolverine did have someone close in the 1940s, but she killed by Sabretooth on a mission. Was it? It wasn't like the movie though, was it? Because I mean, I do remember Origins, like they had him in Japan, which I think he did, like he was in Japan from like, you know, the comics, but I don't remember it being like exactly that way. It's a long time ago, man. I wasn't a big Wolverine fan either. My friend was. I mean, I thought Wolverine was okay, but whatever. Everybody's like, Wolverine, and I was like, he's good, he's alright. And they're like, oh, what do you like? I'm like, Gambit, and they're like, oh, he doesn't, you know, at the time, everybody was like, you know, pissing with me. They're like, he hardly even gets missions, he hardly does anything. Fucking Gambit's a waste. He's just this person who talks, you know, in this accent all the time, because he's from Louisiana. Because they'd always be in that Cajun accent. In the Cajun accent. Remy LeBeau. He was gonna get married. He was ready to settle down until shit just got friggin' crazy. He was gonna be an honorable thief. Bringing the clans together. Ending the fight. You're making a DC movie next year? Dude, seriously? Yeah, I'm being serious. I'm about to write the story and need certain tunes in the movie. Oh, nice, dude. Did you get everything done with Warner Brothers? Everything's good with Warner Brothers, Jeffrey? I really, man, dude. Don't give me spoilers, though. But make sure you let me know how that goes down, because, dude, seriously, I feel like a couple of things would make such a big difference in comparison to what's been being put out lately. And the simple fact that you talked about some of the problems makes me very positive, you know, because some people haven't been pushing that direction right, you know. I feel like it just some of the backstories and some of the, you know, the continuity's just been gone. Of course, we've talked about that. So I'm so pumped to hear that you're doing the DC movie, because I think DC deserves the credit, man. You're gonna write the movie, but I hope somebody like picks it up. You're a screenwriter. I hope somebody grabs it. I hope. I'm really praying for you, brother. I hope they get it. Because honestly, Jeffrey, I feel like the problem is people forget about the characters. You know, they go for the big stuff, and the story gets lost in transition. I'm not saying that they can't have, you know, the action and everything, but they've got to show the emotion, right? They've got to, you know, and they've got to show what it means to this character. You know, why they're doing the things they're doing. I feel like that's what's lost in the DCEU. It's like, I feel like they get good actors and things, but I feel like the compassion's leaving it, right? So I'm looking forward to, you know, your rendition of your screenplay, and I really hope it works out so well for you, because, you know, connecting with your audience is the first step to understanding and your passion. Your passion and your connection with the audience is one of those key elements that is going to, you know, hopefully earn somebody's attention, grab somebody's attention, you know, where it needs to be. I feel like Hollywood sometimes just has forgotten those little things. And it makes me cry, because like the CW has better storylines than the movies. Like, has anybody noticed the CW is doing such a good job with story arc? I mean, it's not canon all the time, but their story arc is you know, it has the contuitive build to it of what it takes to have a compelling story. And I'm like, it doesn't have to always be canon. It just has to have a meaning. And I feel like the Iris and Barry's relationship in like the Flash is, you know, it's consistent, right? The struggles they deal with to maintain their relationship throughout every series. And I'm like, this is what compels viewers. This is what it takes to have a good story. You know, don't forget the little things. Little things like that make such a big difference, right? So I am so pumped up for you, brother. I am so hyped for you. I'm hoping, man, it works out, because I hope they make that a, you know, it's going to be a movie. It's going to be a screenplay movie, right? And are you kind of, dude, what part of the universe are you going? Are you going more Superman? Because now I'm all interested. You know, what timeline? What are you? I mean, man, I'm like pumped, dude. You got it. Keep me informed, dude. Keep me informed. I would. Oh, you know, I love screenwriters. I'm a writer myself. I write science fiction novel. I wrote a science fiction novel and I write poetry. And I love when somebody kind of gives you, I'm not asking for spoilers, but they kind of give you the idea of what they're envisioning, right? And I love that when you talk to writers, because writers can be inspiring, right? Yeah, CW does have better developed storylines compared to the films, right? Absolutely. The storyline was amazing when the Hulk eats Wolverine and he comes bursting out of the Hulk's chest. Amazing. Yeah, Wolverine had a wife and kids, but they were killed by the Hulk's in Old Man Logan's timeline. Oh. See, now I wasn't aware of that one either. Boy, Scott, you got some good information, man. I'm completely, like, I didn't know that. See what I love about this? I mean, I wish other games had this type of movement, you know, where I could move the way I do. I feel like the only thing, though, PvP that lacks this is, you know, being able to ground people properly and slow them down. I feel like the Frost should reduce the friction. A couple minor things need to be a little bit improved on. You know, from, you know, a physics standpoint from superheroes and stuff. Dude, Jeffrey, man, anytime, man, you want to talk about some stuff. And by the way, make sure you send me that shit. I'll try to get on my Twitter tomorrow and bounce it. I won't be able to get on tonight, but I'll be on probably tomorrow. I'll definitely bounce it. But you got to remind me too. I'm sometimes absent-minded. Yeah, amazing story. You need to read Old Man Logan. Dude, yeah, I have not. I didn't even know about Old Man Logan. I didn't know about any of that. Once again, I'm not a big Wolverine fan, but I felt growing up there were too many comic issues, right? I'm like, holy shit, I can't afford all these comics. Like, you know, so, you know, and of course you have your friends, you borrow each other's comics and whatever else. And you would try to get, you know, at least the main storylines. And there was times I would skip issues, you know. And because, you know, didn't have the money, man. You know, there were so many. There was just so many. And I definitely got way more into Marvel because of all the different aspects to the tie-ins. where DC had its, I guess, here was the problem, like growing up as watching comic books. Remember how DC had Superman, it had Batman, then it had Justice League and stuff, right? So you had all of these certain comic books in DC, but not all of them tied in together. Problem of it is, Marvel, they were smart. These bastards were tying in shit left and right. The people were like, dude, there's a tie-in, and you're like, what? And then all of a sudden you pick up that issue because you wanted to know how the fuck was it related? How did it tie in, right? Well, that was the whole thing with Marvel. That was the thing that Marvel did when you were a kid, reading the books. Was not Old Man Logan set in the timeline where there was either no mutants or very few? I have no idea. I have no idea about that. None of those issues. Yes, only a few left. See? I would not know. I'm completely, you know, absent-minded to that. I have no idea. Only thing I always, like, got into was, like, I did read some X-Force when I was younger. I also read X-Men. I got into a few issues of Spider-Man. A few. I was not a big Captain Marvel fan or any of those. I did all the stuff with timelines. Red Skull was like the president of the U.S. and the Hulk gang owned the whole West. What? It's amazing how many different timelines and stories there are in Marvel too. I have read Age of Apocalypse and Executioner Song. I've not read any of the Executioner Song. I remember, like, there was a couple of things I remember when I was a kid, but very few. Like, there was a lot of different little things and issues. I'd have to even take a look. Now, my friend is a big Green Lantern fan. Like, I'm talking, he has so many things that has to deal with the Green Lanterns. Like, tons of shit. Hulk, too. He had, like, some Hulk comics. He was a Hulk and Green Lantern junkie. Which is crazy because those were two different comic book series. But he liked them. See, I don't know. I have not read any comic books or graphic novels in 21 years now. You guys are making me want to go check these out or try to find them. Wonder if there's online versions or those little. Remember those books when we were kids when they would collaborate? It wasn't a comic book, but they would take the last year's issues and collaborate them into one book. You guys remember those when growing up? Those were pretty cool. I forget what they were called, but they were like, you know, a collaboration of all those old the last year's comics combined into one like book that you could get. And I forget what those were called, but you could get those like collaboration books. But they were kind of like they were kind of like a paperback, but they weren't like, you know, comics. So it didn't have a lot more. It didn't have a lot of value to it, hardly at all, if any. But they had all that last year's story arc to it. And I remember when I was at some age, I remember picking up like one of those type of books. Well, it wasn't one of those type of books. But there was this whole thing about Star Wars comics. And they had a whole thing on the Emperor's, the Crimson Guards. I still remember that. Seeing it. An omnibus is what you refer to. Probably. I forget what they were called. But it might be what it is. But yeah, it was like, you know, that collection of that little bit of series within that time that were like put together.
Escorts the dead to heaven.
So, you know, if you couldn't find like individual comics and stuff, you could get this and it would have all the little tied-in storylines together. Like my daughters do that with their manga. Like my kids are big manga fans, and they will get these books because mangas are like comic books, right? Over in the other country. And they can get English publication. So my kids get these books that have like the, you know, the whole little grouped up together. Check out Comics Explain. He has a YouTube channel and he does so many series from DC to Marvel. Ooh, might have to check it out. Yeah, they are called omnibus. Contains an entire story in a paperback form. Yes, yes, absolutely. I remember those when I was a kid. I don't know if they still do them. Do they still do them, I wonder? Those are things were like a godsend if you missed something. Like, I didn't catch that issue. Oh, get the book. Get the book. They just came out. Okay, cool. Like, I remember having D&D. I still remember when they changed over second edition D&D. I was so pissed because I had all my companions. I had all my stuff. I had hundreds of dollars of Dungeons and Dragons shit. And I was so pissed when all of a sudden they were like, oh, guess what? And I'm like an older teenager. And they're like, oh, we're going with a third edition, because of the whole sellout. And I was like, nah. And we're looking at it. My friend was a total buyer into it. I'm like, hell no. And then they got rid of Ravenloft. That was my favorite. My favorite campaign ever was Ravenloft. That's how I came up with Mystic Raven. They still have the omnibuses. Oh, do they? See, I wondered. I still remember that. Like, I'm not a big comic comic person. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not. But anytime I would catch something or I missed something, those books were just a heaven sent to have. That's how, like, a lot of things, if I missed it, that's how I caught up on it. My kids are the same way now with their manga. Because over here, we don't get a lot of those mangas. So they get those type of books. Like, my one daughter will order hers online for English print. They're into some crazy, stupid anime stuff. Not even cool stuff like I was. I was into cool anime. My kids are anime fans too. And my daughter's a giant Supergirl fan. See, I don't know if you're still here, Jeffrey, but my daughter is a huge Supergirl fan. She's like majorly into Supergirl. Oh no, yeah. No, like I wasn't I was into like some comic books, but like I would pick and choose my stories. And like I said, I didn't always have the money. But, you know, I would be like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm picking up this issue, I'm picking up that issue, and then you get all these tie-in issues, and I still remember all that. So it's hard to space out because some of my friends were on it. Like, they'd have this series of this book. My other friend would have a different series. And my one friend, it was a comic book, like, collector, avid collector. And I don't know how much he still has, but he had boxes of comic books. Like boxes in the plastic, all of it, the whole nine. And by the time I was like probably like 15, I think our comic book store, our local comic book store, was even out of business. And you used to be able to get comic books at convenience stores at one time. Remember the old racks? They used to have the comic books in the convenience stores. You used to be able to pick them up there, but I don't even think they do that anymore. But I remember when, you know, going to the convenience stores, like, you know, your little 7-Elevens and stuff, and you'd be able to pick up, like, you know, those week issues or something over there. I still remember that when I was a kid, too. It's just crazy how things have changed, right? Isn't it nuts how things aren't the same anymore? Wow, you're facing Black Adam? ISIS. Black Adam was tricked into giving his powers to Felix Faust. Oh, what?
You are lucky that I do not kill you here and now. You and Faust will both pay for what you have done.
Dissertation notes. The goddess of mother.
Oh, here he is.
I am an evil man. My rage has leveled cities, devastated friend and foe alike. But when Isis came into my life, everything changed. She was goodness, love, hope. She made Kandak bloom. Until she was taken from me. Now, I defy death itself to keep her from me. May the gods have mercy on anyone who stands in my way. Black Adam will see them burn!
Damn! They do a good job in this game. They really do. No doubt. No doubt they do a good job. They do a really good job. If you're, I tell anybody, if you're a DC fan, you need to play this game. You better be playing it. If you're a DC fan, you are missing a whole other aspect to DC you were not aware of. And I keep telling people that. I'm like, listen, man, I know it sounds crazy. I get it. But seriously, go check this game out if you're a DC fan, man. I mean, if you don't like MMOs, that's one thing. But the story, some of the story arcs that they put in this game is pretty friggin' good. It's just really good. I grew up with the old school Batman, you know. And I remember, like, growing up, I think the first time I got into any DC is the old Justice League, like the 80s Justice League, where Wonder Woman had the invisible plane, they had the Wonder Twins, and they had Batman, they had, you know, Flash, and I think Flash was in it, I forget. But obviously Superman, but they had, you know, that aspect to the old school Justice League. And I remember that when I was probably 5 or 6, I want to say. Maybe 6, 7 years old. Remember watching, you know, these cartoons. You know, I didn't have comics back then. I would just watch cartoons. And I still remember Wonder Twin powers activate. Form of, and then they had all these different, that was the first cartoon I was introduced to, was DC cartoons. And then, of course, got into Spider-Man during the same, about a year later, was the Spider-Man cartoons. And that was Marvel's cartoons, like, you know, Spider-Man, and, you know, I would remember these cartoons, and I'm just like, wow, that's so cool. That's so cool. And they did such a good job of those cartoons growing up, right? And then it faded away. The superhero comic book cartoons kind of died out. And then you had, well, Transformers. Transformers was comic book. But Transformers took precedence. And then you had Voltron. And then you had, you know, Thundercats and all this. The Super Friends, which, yes. The Super Friends, right. And I remember that when I was a kid, right? I remember that. And I was like, what happened? Like, where did that go? Like, and then, of course, you know, it took me as a young adult when, or an adult, when they brought back Batman, the animated Batman. And, you know, Mark Hamill, you know, did the Joker, and, you know, there was a lot of really cool elements done well with the new, but there was a gap. There was a huge gap. And I felt like that was a major problem in the industry, you know, for DC. And I feel like, you know, that might have been during their financial, you know, period where they were struggling. But when you go from those cartoons and to, you know, Superman the movie and all of these things that DC put in work in the early days, and I wonder to myself, what happened? Right? What happened? Because even for me, I wasn't like this big like person, but I appreciated the characters that were introduced to me. Right? You had an appreciation for the development of those characters and what they, you know, represented and how they, you know, gave you, you know, a sense of morality between what was right and what was wrong, what was just and what was unjust. and even against all odds, you know, that you could overcome that. I love the Batman animated adventures in the 90s. It was good. That was my young adult. As a young adult, I remember that being introduced. And I was like, where did this go? Why did it take so long? Right? And I felt like there was a lot of things ripped. Like, you could almost sense. Like, I remember watching an episode, and then I was shortly reading a Batman comic book, what my friend had. And I'm like, I feel like they did such a good job, you know, going from this Batman in the comics to this animated series. You know, I felt like it's not necessarily 100% the same storyline, but it embodies what Batman is from the comic book. You could see those graphic, resemblances. And I was like, what happened? What happened during this period of time? Like, because it's like people got lost between the comics and other forms of media. Right? So there's different forms of media, but for DC, I felt like it was an important part of the story development and keeping their fans, plugged in, as I would like to say. Now, honestly, I can't say what happened. I from a business perspective, I wouldn't know. But definitely, a lot changed, right? A lot had changed.
Just called in for society backup from the tap room. I'm alerting Lex Luthor. If what's happening in Gotham is what I think it is, Lex is gonna want in.
So I'm 27, about almost halfway to 28. Well, I'm working on it. It's one of these characters I like this, though. I got a huge-ass sword. Oh, my. Yeah. Pretty cool. What happened is that the comic book sale that took a major loss, close to bankruptcy, literally both on the DC and Marvel front, right? And I knew that there was financial struggles between both companies. They sold out their share. There was a lot of things that was going on. I'm aware of that. But you think to yourself internally, could there have been, other options? Could there have been, a different, we don't know. To this day, we'll wonder that, right? When our kids are growing up with these alternative storylines and they've altered the characters we grew up with, there's always adaptations, and we know there is in the comic book industry. We know that, and, they got to pass the torch, and we get it. But there almost feels like there's something missing now, right? In our beloved heroes. That even growing up, no matter how much you watched a character versus another person, you all identified with that character, right? You all identified with, the character's backstory and, the iconic symbolism that was associated with a said character. And now I feel we're losing that. There's a sense of disarray and disassociation with these new developed characters. And I'm completely befuddled as to what these companies are losing when they're trying to push out a product. It's like you're losing the identity of the character. What people, enjoy about that hero and their individual story. Because no matter how think about it. A lot of people are like, oh, it's a hero. It's got superpowers. But there's some story. Yeah, I have to get going, but I will be back tomorrow. Have a good evening. I'm leaving to Waltz, but thank you. And thank you, Scott, for giving me a lot of information. And Jeffrey, man, make sure you tweet me that. I will try to share it. I'll try to get on. Remind me. And, brother, I'm wishing the best for you. Man, I'm pumped up for you, brother. I'm pumped up for you, Jeffrey. And I really, really hope this works out for you, man. Honestly. I'm a big person. Pursue him. Push it. Keep the dream alive, man, because, we got to try. We got to try to make these differences. But, yeah, a lot of things. And, Roz, thanks for stopping in today. I appreciate that as well. But, yeah, there's a lot of things going on in the industry of why we're becoming disattached. Or we're not as attached to these characters because their stories are being lost. Just that simple. There's no connection to a character that we can't relate with. So we need to be able to have a form of relationship or, understanding of even a fictional character to be able to enjoy what the writer is bringing to us. And I would encourage any new writer in this genre to make it personal. Bring personality to the development of your characters, because that's what people will identify with and it will be cherished. But it's when people forget to add the pain and the hurt and the turmoil that these characters endure that people lose the realization of the fictional character. Because at one time, these fictional characters are what we really hope that we can embody in life, and the morals that we hope to possess, and the justification of right, might doesn't make right, and you can overcome diversity. You can overcome the obstacles that face you, and you can be unique, and you can do the right thing. You don't have to stoop so low. And that's what these characters embody for us. Maybe I'm talking too much. But, anyways. So, who knows? I do want to thank everybody. Once again, I'm Mystic Raven. This is Mystics MMOs. And as always, thank you. And have a nice day.